ask how the radio show Quality Living came about. Why is the radio show called Quality Living with peaceful support? What do we talk about? Guests say, tell us the significance of the radio show. Well, one day, after volunteering here at the KCIW station, like I normally do, I came in to read a couple of transcripts, and then the opportunity was presented to have a show. And of course, the radio station says we need a name for the show. And instantly, through my natural course of experiences, the idea quality living came about. And the ways that we achieve quality living is with peaceful support. Okay, to the point. My name is Amanda Whittemore. Part of my path has been to learn and practice how to live on Earth in this human body with quality from my own near-death experiences and others included. Our Earth process is sacred. Each human on Earth will have their turn to die, same as each human has had their turn at birth to live. Our only true guarantee that we have here on Earth is death. Death can be respected. We can celebrate death. We can honor and cherish death. Somewhere, humans forgot how to honor the dying. They forgot how to respect the process of death. Can you imagine if an apple forgot to fall off the tree, or if a peach forgot how to be soft and juicy? It is common for many to celebrate after the death. However, throughout the world, it is more common to celebrate before death, with those that are actually dying. If they are so lucky for an opportunity as such, fully making peace with this human experience, some would say clearing their karma. My calling and experience of becoming a certified end-of-life doula has come about from the many invitations to go around the world and participate with those that were passing. When they asked me to sit with them, to die, I did. I held their hand till their last breath. Those that were at their end of life asked that I physically sit with them and guide them to their spiritual, physically ability to leave their body. Some say to go to the other side, some say to go see God, to physically, actually, soulfully go up on their final voyage. Some just to leave their bodies for a moment and return. They call this an astral projection. There are many ways to overstand and express ascension. I am here to answer your questions to the best of my knowledge. The highest honor that I have ever had was with my friends and family during their last breaths. And more than that are the trusted moments and hours and years that led up to those most memorable times. However, many people feel the need to hide away from their elders or disabled or those that are at near death. They hide at nursing homes and care facilities or hospitals so that they're out of the way, or so that somebody else can handle the situation. Death is difficult. It is majorly difficult. Death is extremely hard to do by yourself. One could relate this to doing dental work or being a doctor. It is nearly impossible to do your own root canal or open heart surgery. Just think about it. It is nearly impossible to be with our dearest loved ones when they leave their body or when they're near their end-of-life experience. There is an immense amount of unknown that arises. Mostly, my experience is within my own true training, actually being present during death, with full undivided attention for the person passing or those that are part of their world. Each death is unique and different and within its own time, as are we humans. At this moment, we're speaking of the creation and the reason why the show is called Quality Living. Many other individuals take a different approach, sitting with the dying and forgetting their own self-care. They forget how to care for themselves. They put everything else aside and forget about their own life. They stay in the house without any outdoor activities, wasting away like a vegetable without sunlight, air, or water. They waste away in the same way as their loved ones that are dying. They too are dying with them slowly, nearly in a comatose state. Without any judgment or justification, many, many options of how we participate with death. From these teachings and my personal experiences across paradigms across the globe, I have learned techniques in many different areas, many languages, countries, and nations, different ways of processing or experiencing death. For one example, I personally had been called to Thailand during the King of Thailand's death and participating with the whole country and their respective ceremonies and cultural ways of honoring the death of the king. After many interviews, educational courses, studying and working with many elders and people of all ages that were dying with their families, from ages of before birth, 2 years young, some in their mid-30s, some in their late 80s and 90s, including my own grandparents. From my personal experiences, all the dying really wish for is for their friends and family to love them, to respect them, and keep living their own lives. It is a unique and special balance between living and dying. All A's. That's how my father raised me. Acknowledgement, appreciation, attention, acceptance. Then, of course, we have ascension. 5 A's, highest score you can get. The fact that their spirit is actually leaving their body, they're no longer their body. They're no longer the person we once knew, which is part of the reason it feels normal to send them to a nursing home or to a hospital where they will simply die. At times, their mind is gone. They're no longer the same human, even our animals, or plants for that matter. It is unique, this thing, evolution. The living spirit ascends. Some can actually see spirit. This is something I have been gifted to do. Others will call it an aura. However, speaking of honor, in many other cultures, elders are held in the highest of esteem, and they get to go to the front of the line everywhere, especially at the banks, grocery stores, at the gas stations, riding on the bus. The people stand up and gift the elders their seats. Could you imagine? Plus all the important places, they invite the elders to go first. In many nations, celebrations and parties are common for so many occasions. Bridal showers, baby showers, birthdays, graduations, and so on. Yet, how about end-of-life parties? How about before we die? Our grand finale, or our remembrance. How often do we have a remembrance party? Part of what I do is I am that peaceful support. I have been called to amplify activities that show the beauty of death, that shines an elegance, signifies seniority. It could be a year or 5 or 10 years before they actually die, however, which in turn amplifies and honors the living with all their glory. It's their turn to set their pace for when they do pass. It has happened to where my clients turned around from their deathbed and enjoyed years and months more than they were ever said that they were to have. Some have actually said, if I hadn't spoken up and rescued them, turned them around from the hospital or a situation that they were in, to be that support, they may have never lived or walked again. and possibly could have died in that hospital. Presently, till this day, my clients, they're actually out driving around on their heavy equipment machines and with their children having great-grandchildren and the times of their lives. These statements are to honor timing and choices that these people have made in their lives. I am simply support to be here, listening to the value of all the years that our dying have lived. And they have lived. And we appreciate the listeners here at KCIW for listening. Those who have lived many more years, umpteen million more experiences than we may ever have. It is their turn. It is their choice of how they depart. With God's special grace and guidance, when we are faced with death at whichever level it is a sacred experience. Some have chosen to end their lives with dignity. This is legal in Oregon. I do work with death with dignity. It is a choice to die in peace. Believe it or not, working with an end-of-life doula doesn't necessarily mean somebody is going to die. It is a little bit different than a midwife. More or less, the path that had been taken isn't working anymore, and there are many choices of how to live, and sometimes it does lead to death. However, at the end of the day, we all may live another day or year. How it is our choice of how we get to do this. Positive thinking, live while dying. God only knows. Personally, with attending to over 3,000 clients of mine, being a patient advocate, there's personally been more experiences that I could ever speak of. Currently, natural, organic, holistic options and positive actions. My path is a galactic experience. Many may never make it in the rocket ship to even listen to my personal experiences. However, you ask me and I will tell you. Yet, from working with death, it has taught me to live, to speak, to make actions like being here, having this radio program called Quality Living, encouraging ways of quality living, valuing my voice and all of our experiences without judgment. From wholeheartedly listening to patient stories, only with permission, we do make films and documentaries about their legacy. We encourage those who perhaps have yet to design a legacy to do so, and we do it with them and their families or loved ones, or those who want to participate. We make dying fun. As weird as that sounds, it actually happens throughout the world. With peaceful support, the dying get to celebrate their life, create, design, and participate with end-of-life parties. We celebrate death with colors. We all dress up to the tens or in themed wardrobes. We bring sound, perform music, and dance with vibrant tones. We do movement sequences with breathwork, aka yoga, and read out loud with those that are dying. Pizza parties with friends and families is a big hit. A bit of Batman and Robin with a huge bowl of ice cream eased quite many nights preparing for death. Some dying actually went out dancing to the Bee Gees. We made their dying wishes come true. Sometimes the dying will tell us their wishes or their visions, and many times people or family won't understand, or they won't get it till they've passed away. And as a death doula, I have been gifted with the support of our constituents, teachers, from those that were dying and have since passed away, a gift of the ability to get it and take action with them to achieve their end-of-life objectives, all the way to ceremonies and placing their remains. They speak of passing the torch. It may seem weird or not right or not fair or awkward or even inappropriate or against the family religion. With all honesty, at the time of death, most all preconditioned ideas, they disappear. for an unknown amount of time, a new shining vision from Source, God, spiritual creator. They only know they are the closest to the other side, the portal, leaving Earth or ascending to heaven. Friends, family, familiars, they present these moments for the dying. We all as a group do the best we can for all that we have been given up to those moments of their last breaths. Options of ceremonial or celebration of anointing oils is so supportive. Thai herbal massages, if they are able to, ocean beach walks. We celebrate death with special meals for the person near the end of their life, giving them as many of their favorite meals as we can. With family and loved ones, all are welcome to these activities. We ask them if there's something that they've never tasted before, that they wish to taste before they die. This may be 20 years before they pass away or 5 days. Only God knows. Then it sometimes happens when they don't or can't eat anymore. We advance to a new phase on their journey, their path to supporting them to leave this world without their earth suit. For an ambient sensation for those that are dying and their families, we bring them, if possible, to sit with magnificent healing crystals and rocks, larger than the human is. We invite them to sit in rose quartz and amethyst or jade, huge soaking tubs for their spa treatments with oils and aromas that calm them, similar to a sponge bath at a hospital. And we prepare the soul and the spirit and the body as it gets set to dissipate and leave the human or even animals. Naturally and organically, once they are out of points of their final hour and not being able to move from their final resting place, we invite them to be surrounded with these beautiful crystal healing elements, rocks, and aromatically pleasing sensations, with prayers and songs and words from those that honor them. We sit many times holding space in silence. Part of special activities for the dying is also for the family. We do this with so many reasons of getting together, of nurturing and giving gifts to each other. This happens between family and friends and with the neighbors. It sends closure. This has been shined away from for many generations. And it's been shown in many different ways across the globe that there are many ways to process a death in the family. It sets the person dying at peace when they can be there to give their royalties, to see settlements in front of their face instead of after they die. They give the gifts to the people that will be receiving them once they do go. They do this in person. They pass on inheritances to a smiling face instead of in the afterlife. These moments here are simply talking about what is quality living and how do we really know what is quality living until we've actually experienced death. In the process of dying, there's something normal that we hear about, activities such as a will or gifting. This normally comes from a will with a piece of paper plus an attorney. A gift from a written will is a majorly special gift. It is extremely important to have a will written, especially due to operation of law and other unknown parts of dealing with physical property that the person dying may or may not be educated about. However, creating a will is a way of leaving in peace, settling the mind, feeling completed with doing these activities and actions before one dies. A will written also sets documentation. A will proves and seals the verbal gifting session. This can happen for all ages and with ability to revise or update whenever necessary or as often as you wish. It could be a yearly activity. It's an option. There are so many options in this world. And to see that we can even, if we choose, write a letter to death, to the unknown. It is a lesson all in itself. I've done this. It was part of my training, and it is highly recommended for everyone. It's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done. However, to see the light, to feel the love, to make peace with the place that we go, there are no words. With education, with training of many courses, it is with great delight that we as a community of humans remember how to have fun and be with full joy every day. Remember how to love one another, and remember how each one of us will have our turn to die, just as each one of us had our turn at birth. With all of our turns at birthdays and celebrations and graduations, and even our turn sitting with those that were passing, it is to be cherished and respected. And a little note from the ones that are dying: please remember it is their turn. And please remember that you will have your turn. And they will do the best they can to guide you from where they are. A unique opportunity arises, a unique question. How do we want to die? More importantly, for right now, how do we want to live? What is living to us? How does it make us feel when we are with peaceful support? Let's make more actions, do more for ourselves, even if it's just for a moment, more for our friends, even if it's just a thought, more for our loved ones, even if it's just that one hug before they walk out the door. Create more ways of living with peaceful support every day. Create the utopia that we choose to live within, respecting choices and honoring boundaries. With all due respect, love, kindness, and peaceful support for any end-of-life questions, celebration requests, or birthday parties, or honorary moments, we call them days of remembrances, I am here for you. And I will do all that I can to see that if I don't know how, or if I don't have the pieces, I will find somebody. And we will do all that we can to see to it, living or dying, our needs and goals are achieved together in peace. From my center to yours, pure, true dignity and integrity. I kindly thank you for all the support that is here with the Quality Living program on KCIW. It is a huge significance to be able to speak truthfully about the process of living with quality.